Fala galera, today I'm going to be analyzing my match against Koty. Angeloff, it was in top 8 from the last LCS. And before I start, I want to, I posted my game against Jess Cotton in the previous one, and I got a lot of feedback, which is really cool. I really like to hear from you guys what you guys think about this type of content, like me analyzing my own game. I usually analyze other people's games, but I have a lot of thoughts to say much more about my own things because I was the one thinking about the plays and all. So yeah, if you guys like not only me commentating other people's replays, which I do in Portuguese, like Deep Grind does in English, I do the same thing in Portuguese uh, from replays from Dueling Book. But if you guys like me commenting my own games and analyzing the things that I did well, the mistakes that I did, because I'm not perfect, even though like I'm really experienced in the game and I usually don't make many mistakes. I do make mistakes still. And in this match, I know I did one, at least one, and you guys will see. And this is what you guys are going to see is the process of me learning. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are, how much you play. There's almost always, not almost, there is always things to learn and improve upon. And this is how I usually go. I usually rewatch almost all my matches, and I'm really hard on myself trying to squeeze where I could make something better. And sometimes the misplay are more obvious, sometimes they're not. In the previous game against Jesse, I got a lot of feedback, as I was saying, and from people who are more experienced with Dragon Link than I am. And I, I, I realize now that it was a mistake negating the Strike a Dragon from the thoughts that I got from other people. And now I know. Now I know. And that's how you learn. And this is me learning, getting better, and hopefully this will always make you better too by watching it. So yeah, I do know one big mistake in this one on my part, and let's put fast forward because there are a lot of people entering the room, and let's see how that goes. So again, just watching my end on this to see only my perspective, so I can comment it on that. So he starts with um, teleport. I knew some things about his deck. He plays 40, so I know some cards that he doesn't play. He does play, so this is a really good sign for me. Like it means he doesn't have a lot of good starters like using an Ash, which is a good thing to know again, because my deck is kind of weak. Sometimes it's weak to Ash, so now I know he plays Ash. So it's another little bit of information I got here. I didn't know he was running Ash until now. But yeah, like his summoning this is a really tell that he doesn't have like a really good normal summon. So he used Fiber Ogre here. Like I felt like if I don't, this could be really sideways on him bringing a level 2 tonners and trying to go for uh, what's the name? I forgot the name. Herald. Herald. So yeah, so I had to be kind of greedy with this ogre. I feel like that was the best spot. I only have one hand trap. Sounds like I'm losing this game. So he went for Romulus here. So we'll fast forward a little bit. So he used this one for hand, right? So he used that and go for link cross into that. And this he made the whole uh, link to what's the name, protect or whelp plus LP type of play, which is not really good for me, but there is one part which is good, that he doesn't make Herald in this spot, which is good for me, that he's not committing Herald, especially because I have this land. So this land, if he has a Herald, somehow this land becomes dead because he doesn't need to negate land anymore because of Herald, because land is only a push, a way to break a board if it doesn't have Herald, because I can discard Lord. So yeah, he drew Gamma and Nash going first. So he used that effect and got a black dragon. Um, so he used that in Saryuja. Here I got really glad he went for Saryuja. I don't know exactly what he could have done here, but it was sounding like something better could happen. I don't know exactly which card he plays in extra deck. Dragon Link is all about the extra deck. So when that happened, I knew I was going to get at least Steel Savage, which is doable. But if it was something like Steel Savage Herald or Steel Savage Buster Blader, Buster Whelp or whatever it's called, then it's really unlikely for me to try to break. But in this case, it's not impossible. So yeah, shuffle, summon, bring LP, bring the other monster, use that, kill, and he's going to special for hand if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, and then he goes for the Seal Savage. So in this position, it's not really good for me because he has one negation here, one bounce that I can play through, but my draw will be really good. I had a lot of good draws, but I'll draw one of them. I need something else that can force something. So I start with the impermanence. I think it was right here to force this one. This is the best one, and hopefully he will negate this, and then my play will go through. And this is the game that I made a mistake. You guys will see soon. So he brought this one, and yeah, he bring Parlor, which I wasn't expecting, and he sent a trap, and yeah. So I used the land, he negated, and then I said, okay, now my Tracer is live, and I can make this Tracer become a good play, right? So I went for Strike a Dragon, get the Boot Sector, and I brought from grave, which is always useful when I go second. So this was pretty much a fiber play. Uh, I could have go for fiber, or I could have go for what's the name? Kills Ruler play, and I think I decided to go for Kills Ruler here because it's better against hand traps. Like if I got Ash, for example, in on the fiber is really bad for me, really bad. If I got fiber here, Ash here, it's not as bad because I can go for fiber. If I got Ash on the Chaos Ruler, it's not as bad because I can go for Predator Plant, Anaconda, and then I can still bring back the Chaos Ruler because I have a Ogre. So I think that was a right decision. I made almost everything right until one point. And this was a really weird scenario because not only he had this fucking trap in the grave, he also had Brotar. So yeah, and I couldn't think for long. So this kills really just like in against Jesse was really bad for me. I sent again Dark Magician and again sent 0 Eldritch cards. So really unfortunate for me. It's still not an excuse. I could have won even going super unlucky on this Chaos Ruler. This is a really unlikely scenario, especially going 2 times in a row. So yeah, I had to get Dark Magician just to not lose the the ability for go for Anaconda and him and here I summon the Chaos Ruler and then I summon the Dragoon. Until here everything's right? So I pop with Dragoon and kill that. So he used Brotar. This is where I got it wrong. I got it wrong in 2 ways. So I had to think a lot here because it was a really hard decision and I had to make a decision. Like he was saying that I had to go faster, and he's not wrong. Like I was taking my time here, and because it was a really hard decision, and I didn't realize there was a way to OTK here. Like the first thing that I saw when he used Paulo, in my head, I thought, okay, I can kill him now, and there was a way, but I didn't see the way. So and then I decided to negate Brotar Engrave because I was thinking if bring and didn't use the effect it could be bad, which it wasn't. It would be better. So I pretty much used the worst negation possible, which was using Dragoon negating the effect on Grave, and this is going to pretty much kill me. The right play it would be let this go through, doesn't negate. If you use the effect that doesn't negate, and then I use effect pop Paulo dies, and then I can the difference is that I can use Anaconda to attack the Brotar, which is 0/0, and then I use my negation to negate the trap. Again, wasn't that difficult of a play to find. I usually find shit like this. Uh, the problem was the amount of time that I was thinking, and I couldn't. If I had like 30 seconds more, I probably would have found it, but I couldn't take too long. I was already taking long, and yeah, that was my bad. I had to think faster, and this threw me off a little bit because when I was thinking about Seal, I wasn't considering him bringing that. This is kind of a new card that people are playing, so I was thinking that he would bring a black metal or cipher, which would, since the Brutal was engraved in those scenarios, I would have won, even with Brotar. So yeah, that was my mistake, and this is going to cost me the game really, really hard because now I can kill him, and this Brotar, which is still engraved, are really going to fuck me because even though I didn't kill, I still choose the wrong play too. I should have let him summon the Brotar and he used the effect. Let's say I'm assuming that I can kill him, which I could, but let's say I would have been better to negate on the board to this to be banished. Yeah, that was a game deciding mistake, and against players that are really good, you just can't do that. Like sometimes against a not as good player, that would be enough. Here negate this one. I don't think that was too bad, to be honest. Negating that. That card I knew he had. I think I knew because he bounced it, and I don't think this negation was too bad. It was difficult for me to die, but you guys can see I will. And if when I get anything monster wise with Dragoon, this would trigger. I was trying to avoid this to trigger. This shouldn't be here to begin with, but yeah. So this quick launch, I think it was a draw, and I pretty much lost because of that quick launch, I guess. So he used that and get the recharger back, and the recharger got the Brotar. This is how I lost. If this Brotar doesn't exist, I don't think I would have died, and by not dying, I would have won. Uh, I really needed to die here in his perspective. So I think this was the biggest mistake I did in the tournament. Um, I didn't make many mistakes in the tournament, to be honest, but this one, it was a big one because it cost the match. I think it was the only mistake that for sure cost the match. Against Jesse, the other one, um, maybe didn't cost the match, maybe it was still lose, not sure. But this one for sure, like it was an obvious one that cost me the match. But again, this is how we learn. It still wouldn't be too likely for me to die, but he plays two traps, which is not common at all. So yeah, I think he needed the extra summon that this trap gave him, and this really pay off in this one. Like he was super safe for the two traps, and yeah, good for him. So yeah, he shuffle, then make this one, make board sword, attack, then change the defense and attack Anaconda. So yeah, that's how I lost game one. That mistake cost me the game, and this is how we learned. Like in the game, while I was playing, I didn't even notice uh, that I had game. I noticed that I should have negated on the board the Brotar, so that I noticed while I was playing. And yeah, just giving you guys thoughts on what I was thinking at the time. So let's fast forward a little bit. So we are going for game two where I started and I drew a really good hand if I don't get hand trap. And this hand, if everything resolves, is really good. So I went for contract, Lemia, because this is a potential 5 interaction type of hand, which is almost impossible to lose with. So I brought Diva. Yeah, this is the most simplest combo in this deck. So everything goes through. So this is a 5 negation type of hand, which is again really difficult to lose with. Um, this is how these guys try to function. Usually 5 interactions is way over the top. Usually 4 is probably enough. But sometimes it's 4, but he use one hand trap, so you have 4, but they have one less card, or they have 3 and they have 5, so usually enough. So Punkatrop was really good for him in this instance. I got Punkatrop hard draw a lot in this tournament. You guys will notice from some replays that I have here. So yeah, this wasn't really good for me. This one, another tell about his hand. There is no black metal, no cipher. It just can't be card like that. This card being the normal summon. In here, I think, I don't know if it was a mistake in his hand. I don't know his hand. I don't remember. But here, using this effect, it gave me an outlet for Herald. Like, I was thinking when he summoned Punkatrop that he would have attacked and pop. I don't know exactly his thoughts. He can explain this better. I'm not going to say a lot about what he was thinking. I can't know, but for me it was good. Like my perspective was good because of the cards that I had, and I was even considering this Herald completely dead. So when he used the effect, for me it was a good thing. I think I was like, okay, good. I can trade this Herald with something because the Herald is already dead. So that was good. I understand now, looking at the 1-for-1, I kind of understood, like, he wanted to use 1-for-1. That's why he tried to force this Herald before battle phase. I don't know if it's worth it. And even I did have Dragoon, so this would be a Dragoon negation here if I didn't have Ash. Now, since I have Ash, I use Ash here and keep the Dragoon negation, which is better. You can get more things. So I use the Ash here, and this is probably was really bad for him. So yeah, I think that was his intention. I don't know if it was worth it, but it definitely wasn't because I had Ash. But even only with Dragoon, I don't know. So he attacked here. So he killed my monster. I still have 3 interactions. Nibiru, which wasn't the best interaction here, since I would have need to kill my own Dragoon. Sometimes it's fine to use Nibiru even with Dragoon on the board because, like, you're not dying because of that. And sometimes you have Eldritch live, so you can play with Eldritch. But not in this case. I don't have any Eldritch cards live. In this deck, you are really happy on having one Eldritch card to be the Dragoon discard, and this Eldritch card become another Eldritch card, and you start to punish the simplified game state that this type of deck promotes with the Eldritch, and this is where Eldritch thrives. Is where you simplify the game state, and even if Dragon dies, you have the Eldritch recurring themselves all the time, and this is where it's really good. That's why you don't need that many Eldritch cards. One Eldritch card is usually fine. So he just passed on that, and I drew Ogre, so another interact again, no Eldritch cards. So this game became protect the Dragoon. This is official now. I have to protect this Dragoon. This is my only win condition. Don't have Eldritch. This game is not going to play out for like 5 turns. So even if I draw Eldritch on next turn, it's going to be a slow Eldritch, like I draw a trap, then I discard a trap, then I banish the trap, then I set another trap. So this is going to be really slow. So from now I know it's official that I have to protect the Dragoon. So this lost a lot of value, and you guys will see that I change gears. Like I comment in the other, I don't know if it was the profile or the game against Cotton, that this deck changed gears a lot, and you have to reevaluate your win condition all the time. So here, now I'm set on Protect the Dragoon, and then this Nibiru lost a lot of value, especially because I drew Ogre. So what happened here is not super common. As you can see, I used the effect of Dragoon, and he popped my set card, and I decide to use the Dragoon. I discard, of course, Boot Sector, but this means that my next negation will be discarding Nibiru. So I pretty much decided on discarding Nibiru. I still have 3 points of interaction. I have Nibiru, discard Nibiru, Dragoon, discard Nibiru, Impermanence, and Ogre. Against 3 cards, more than enough. So yeah, that's why I decided to discard this and then discard Nibiru afterwards if necessary. So I attack. One punish here, by the way, would be Gamma, but this Gamma should be hard draw. So some reads I had, okay? So I could have get Gamma here, and that would be kinda bad. Not completely bad, but kinda bad. I would have still popped the driver, and like something like this could happen. This gamma should have been a hard draw, like not hard draw, a 6 draw gamma, because I did my whole combo on turn 1 and didn't use anything. So it's impossible to be a gamma on the 5th card, on the 5 first cards. So it had to be the 60 card. And I think it was unlikely because he discarded Lancia for 1 for 1, and I feel like if he had to choose between Gamma and Lancia to discard for this 1 for 1, it would be probably Gamma maybe. So maybe not, maybe not. So I feel like the likelihood of Gamma here was really, really low. So that's why I was confident to use this effect on the open board. So yeah, I passed and he banished. This was most likely a draw for turn. I'm not sure, but yeah, this is probably a brick that he already had. When I'm playing, I'm always evaluating which card he drew, which card was already in his hand. As you guys can see, this is how you make reads. So he make fiber, and I negated with impermanence. I think it was a good call here, especially because he chain block. So he got the black thing, whatever, black dragon. So he went for this one, and I feel like it was a good to negate. Like this was getting a lot of value. I still have Ogre, and pretty much now he's only has LP as a link extender. That's why this doesn't sound too good negating this. As you guys can see, I would just kind of view doesn't sound too good, but it kinda is because Romulus is dead because this is gone, and Fiber is already gone. So against Dragon Link, you count links. I can't stress this enough. Like this is a link deck. This is where things are. The important cards are. The important cards are Fiber, Romulus, Elp, Pizzi. What's the other? Savage, Seal. Borsword. Like this is how you win or lose. So you have to count and you have to evaluate those cards. The actual deck are a bunch of cards that are trying to reach here. So that's why I was confident to negate this one. So yeah, he used this one and got the tracer. And yeah, he gave up after that. It was the imp column. I think I would have won anyway. I wanted to go back and see what he was in hand, but I think the Ogre would have been enough, and my Dragon would have lived, and that would have been game anyway. So even though he used an imp column, which is sad for him, I think I would have been still won. So because of Ogre, there's a lot of people watching this game. So yeah. So he doesn't need to be too sad about that because the Ogre would be enough. So yeah, this hand was bad. This is usually how I lose when I drew 2 bricks at the same time. But I drew 2 bricks, which is a bad scenario. 1 brick is okay in this deck, but 2 bricks is kind of weird. But my hand was good. What's left on my hand, right? The quick launch, pretty good, Nibiru and Ogre. So hopefully this can stop and hopefully this can carry. So he used the parlor, used effect, and he didn't add, probably play around draw, right? Which is good because I don't play, so people are missing effects because they are playing around draw. Like they were in the right to play around draw, but for me it was good because they didn't know. So were missing little effects here and there. So here I Ogre because I had the knowledge. He didn't play Ravine, Dragon Ravine, so I could use this Ogre with confidence. In the previous decks, like the first Dragon Links that were playing, especially last format, they play 60 cards with Ravine, so this Ogre was almost always awful on the Romulus, since he would have get Ravine and discard something and get the one who search, I don't know the name, who wants to search Tracer, and you get fucked because of that. But then here you can easily use this Ogre and they get a dead card. I knew he didn't play Ravine because his previous profile he didn't use, but almost impossible for a 40 card deck to play Ravine anyway. So even if I didn't know for sure, that would have happened. So here, okay, so here he talents for draw, which says a lot. It says he doesn't have combo yet, right? So I was happier to see his draw, which is funny. But then if you look at my hand, he would have take quick launch and pass, and then I would have lose. I would need a starter here, but then it would be awful. So he probably doesn't have a way to play. Like in a way to play, what I mean in a way to play is probably a turner and a non-turner, and they both need to be special summons since he already normal. So he wouldn't need to have two ways to special summon, and one kind of have to be a turner. So pretty much quick launch or boot sector, and he doesn't have the field spell yet. I don't know if he plays around or if he already had, but uh, so the likelihood for him having both is really low. So yeah, as you guys can see, I think he will pass here, which is understandable based on how things play out. And he would have probably need to get a little bit luck on the talent draw to play now. And I drew Phantasme, which was a really good draw in my opinion. This will be most likely an interaction since I have so many cards to draw into. For the ones who didn't watch my profile, I side out going second against combo all my Eldritch cards. So I have 25 hand traps, which is funny. 25 hand traps against combo going second, so I don't have Eldritch cards. I smoke screen and side out all my Eldritch, so I became a Dragoon Synchro deck with a bunch of hand traps both side against combo. I think that was the best way to approach this matchup. And here, I even consider not play because the texture of his hand was most likely hand traps and like one extender that couldn't combine with another extender because it doesn't have, or some type of break. Some like he has 6 cards and he pass. So I have to evaluate here that what his hand could be. So here I even consider not play, not doing this. But then I thought again and I said, okay, worst case scenario, he double hand trap me and I get off of 2 hand trap. Like those hand traps are not going to disappear. And this Phantasme can carry by protecting me. Like I have Nibiru plus potentially something off Phantasme. And I have 2 draws. One, the extra draw for Phantasme, and the draw phase to have a play again. So it would be better for me to get rid of the hand traps if they do exist here. So that's what I did. So I tried to play here, and he didn't do anything. And I got Tracer back, then I used Field, then I used Tracer, and then he said Think, and he is going to Ash here. For him, here, for me, this was really good for me. Getting an Ash on this type of card was good. And this is probably because he doesn't know my deck really well, which is completely understandable because this fucking deck didn't exist before this event. So it's understandable. This Ash wasn't good for him. I can't call this a mistake because, again, really weird deck going on my side. So it's really hard to see exactly where you use shit. So it would be better for him to use a quick launch. Like, of course, he couldn't know based on what happened, right? But yeah, because now I'm open to go for fiber, and then it's really good because I can go for fiber and I can potentially combo off like nothing happened. But he had Gamma, which again wasn't that bad since it was bad, but not completely awful because now I take off of 2 hand traps of his hand, and all I have to do is not die. Romulus is gone at least, so one special summon, extra deck special summon is gone, which is good. So most likely I'm not getting Herald, which makes my Nibiru better. That's why I'm stressing this again about what's left and what's gone from the extra deck. That's why I count Romulus off. So and I pass here. I think I'm in a losing position here, but it will depend exactly on how this will play out. So he quick launch and got this. I don't know if it was a draw phase. I didn't pay attention here now, but it sounds like a draw phase because I should have paid attention. Can I see? Is it possible to see? 4, 5. I don't know. I don't think so. But like, it could be a draw phase. For sure, one of those were the draw phase. Either quick launch or wild buster. Because if they weren't in his hand, I think he would have tried to combo me last turn, right? So because he just summon both and go for fiber. So one of those were the draw phase. So I knew that here. Another thing about his hand, it is that the texture of his hand again. It was probably one brick, one extender, one normal summon, and it could be hand traps, which they were, as you can see, and also another card that I think I should have, and I should have, and I could, and I would, and I and I and I had, I was playing around that was uh, he could draw extra TTTs, tactics talents, right? Extra talents. So that was another possibility. That's why I I didn't Fantasme here. I let him get this search, and I let him commit more summons, as you guys can see. And I think this is 5, right? This is the 5th one. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's going to summon 2 tokens anyway, so I will Phantasme here because I was playing around TTT a little better. And this probably won me the game. I think it was one of the best plays that I did in this tournament, because waiting for this to be summoned, to him to commit the the monsters in order, because if he had TTT, I could chain Nibiru. This exactly scenario happened. I think this was a good play on my part. So I drew really well off this Phantasme. Again, I don't think I was extremely lucky or anything, because I had 25 hand traps to draw into. I drew 2. So what happened was my hand was much better now, because I shuffled back this fucking Dark Magician, and now I have this. This is in defense because of Burst World. Like, this is making his attack is almost pointless, because making an attack is promoting death because of Burst World. So that happened, and he TTT to hand. So that's exactly what I was thinking of. Like, if this scenario happened, if he had a TTT, he would have used it. If I use on Fiber, he would have had 4 summons, and then I couldn't use Nibiru because it would be 1, 2, Fiber 3, Phalanx 4. So that makes a lot of reason. This is probably was a winning play. So I make up. Uh, I made a little better because of my mistake game 1 by making a mistake by doing a really good play, in my opinion, right now. So this was game changing, I think. Yeah, and here we got the information that my teammates won, Herman and Chris, but we still play out the match to see how we would have ended. So we're going to continue, which was good. I wanted to continue too. So yeah, he shuffled the Veiler. So I had this Uka left, and he knew about the Uka. So yeah, that's all I have. And he summons that. So he didn't. I think. Oh, he used the Striker Dragon. He used the Boot Sector, so he drew the Boot Sectors somewhere. I don't know if he played around with Paulo, or if he hard drew somewhere in this turn, or the draws of the first tactile talents or something. But I know he drew, and this is where it gets funny. He kills that to summon the monster, and then I summon Gizmek because he summoned something from his deck. I summon Nuka, and and I had a target, and I target his dark monster, and I brought Diddy Crow, which was relevant. Again, in this deck, any monster is relevant. Like, being something on the board is better. It's good, not better. It's good having something. And you guys see that this extra monster that I got was important. So he went for Savage, which is understandable here, and he attacked, I think, Nibiru. Yeah, he attacked Nibiru, and he's strong. Now here, I just need to draw a card, like a Yu-Gi-Oh card that I can put on my board. This is pretty much where it comes down to, because I still have an Anaconda available, and I still have Fiber available. So any card do, like Contract, Diva, any hand trap. Uh, Worst case scenarios would be drawing like a complete brick, or like an Nibiru or Phantasme. Those would be bad for me. But besides that, I think it was fine most of the time. So yeah, I drew Ogre, so a hand trap. So being a hand trap was really relevant here. Uh, yeah. So I summon the Ogre, and I make Link Karibo, I think. Yeah, I make Link Karibo with the Crow, which was relevant here. Again, low key broken. Then I make Fiber. He kind of has to negate. Like, this is a really lose scenario for him. Like, there's not much he can do. So he negated, and then I just make Link Cross because I have all my extra deck left, right? So the second fiber coming clutch here, right, as you can see. And it was also good that I played that turn, that I didn't pass. I played because I got Gamma was impossible to get, but I could have get Ash, for example. So that was good that I tried to play that turn. Um, so yeah, then I make Link Karibo back. He has no more negations, and I go for Anaconda Dragoon. That's with the game. And yep, that was really cool. I really like that match. Um, I made a big mistake on game one, but that's how we learn and how we improve, right? And again, I'm really hard on myself on those type of things. I always rewatch my replays, try to develop from them, and this is what I'm doing is try to bring a little bit of my process of improvement for you guys, right? So, and game three, I think I played really well, and that really make a difference. Like, and my choice, like, not only the play that I did, like the whole waiting, playing around second TTT because of the texture of his hand. This was a read that I had that the hand could contain, the likelihood of him containing a second TTT was higher than usual. It's not like just counting how many cards he has in hand, how many cards are left, how many TTTs are left. Like this is a hard percentage, which is usually what people think of. But like if you think on how the game play out, you can increase or decrease the probability of cards being there or not. And this is one of those scenarios. Not only the TTT, but the hand traps too, and everything of that matter, and the way the deck worked, like the Phantasme work as it was supposed to. The Uka also bring the crow targets. This is really rare situation, but it coming clutch like it was really strong here too. So yeah, this was one game that I'm really proud of instead of my the first one that I made a mistake, but it's fine. Really nice game. Congrats for Koty for topping, and that's it. I will make top 4 next, then finals. See you later. Bye bye.